How are we all doing? I hope everybody's doing good. So today's video is all about the pleasure that you can get from paying attention to the little things in what it is you do for a living, and also, I think, outside of your working life, your professional life. And I wanna start today by telling a little tale from a guy who I follow on Instagram called Andy Frisella. And Andy owns a supplement company called First Form and is minted, absolutely minted. I actually think First Form's probably one of the biggest supplement companies in America now. And Andy's got a fascinating story. He was stabbed 7 times when he was younger. He spent the first 9 years or so sleeping on a single mattress on the floor out the back of his little sports supplement shop. Was told over and over again to give up the dream. And have a look at him on Instagram. I think it would be absolutely fair to say that he's proved everybody wrong. And one of the things Andy talks about a lot, and one of the things that really resonates with me, is doing the little things as well as you can, committing to the little things that are all too easy to coast through, to get lazy with, and the difference that can make to your happiness and also your chances of success. And he tells this little tale which perfectly sums up what it is I want to speak to you all about this morning. And it's effectively a little tale of washing your car. So you decide on a beautiful sunny day you're going to wash your car. You get your bucket, you get your sponge, you fill your bucket with water, you go outside, you spray the car down, you give the car a good wash with all the sponge. It's all great, attention to detail. You're doing the wheels, you're doing the trims, everything's great. You then dry it down properly with your chamois, and then you'd step back and it looks like shit. And the reason it looks like shit is because you forgot to put the soap in the water. Now the soap going into the water effectively takes about 2 to 3 seconds, simply. And the reason that is a fantastic analogy is that there are so many tasks that we do on a day-to-day basis where we forget to put the soap in the water. Because we know the task can be completed without the soap. He washed his car, looked like shit, but he did wash his car, to be fair. It just looked like shit at the end of it. And today is all about remembering in every single thing that you do to put that soap in the water. Give the little things the attention they deserve, because they're the building blocks. And you'd be amazed how much more you will enjoy the activities which make up your day if you always subconsciously think, right, I'm going to give this everything I've got. If it's easier, and I do this a lot, say I'm about to write an email that I know I can blast out, I don't need to spell check, I don't need to reread, and it doesn't really matter how it ends because the result's going to be the same anyway. I'll actually say to myself, like a nutcase, let's put the soap in the water. And when you do that, you will find, because again, this is a misconception, you will find that you enjoy it more. You get more pleasure out of doing things well than you do out of coasting through things. And that, again, is a really, really common misjudgment of things. We, as a society, think the easier something is, the better it is. I, as an individual, and certainly the people that I look up to and aspire to be like, seem to have completely the opposite idea here. Now, outside of your work, I found this to be a really fantastic way of proving this theory right. And I can appreciate that not everybody watching these videos has got kids of an age where they can read to them at night. But this is the best exercise to really, really realize just how effective this strategy is. And I want you to try this if you've not before. The next time you're reading your kid a story in bed, put the soap in the water. Really go into it. Really tell the story. Don't just read the book. And at the end of it, you'll realize that, let's face it, sometimes when you don't really want to read to the kids, or you might get somebody else to do it, or you might just tell the kids there's no story tonight, that on the face of it feels a little bit like maybe that's just a bit easier. I haven't got the energy. I can't be asked to do it. Get up, go and read to your kid, but really give it everything you've got. And you will be amazed at how much enjoyment you get out of that activity. You can pretty much apply this theory to anything that you do, all the way down to just writing a note on a pad. Don't just write it that only you will ever understand what it says because it looks like it's been written in Swahili. At the same time, don't start writing calligraphy or anything stupid, but just give it the attention it deserves. Give the emails you send the attention they deserve, yeah? If you see a bit of rubbish on the floor, pick it up and put it in the bin. Don't just walk past it. You can add soap to the water with everything you do. And if you start to practice it, you'll realize that it's actually much more fulfilling than just coasting through stuff. So that really is what today's about. The pleasure that comes from giving the small tasks and the big tasks the attention they deserve. And I'm going to end by telling a little story of my own. Because one thing I always say to the lads that work with me, and again, anyone who listen really, is that you never know who's watching. And all the lads that work for me have ended up working for me because they were doing really, really well. And then I got told they were doing really well. Then I started watching them, not in a weird way. And then they ended up working for me. And now we're all like one big happy family. But they were putting the soap in the water on a day-to-day basis and not knowing who was watching. And that is really, really important that everybody remembers that. And I tell a story of when we went to get a round of drinks in a bar. And I was actually with the lads from work. And the barman was so terrible, like so terrible. He didn't want to be there. He couldn't be asked. There was no ice in any of the drinks. I asked for a segment of orange and he lashed loads of orange cordial in it. Had to get him to redo my drink. He was grunting, no eye contact, couldn't be bothered. And I presume the reason he couldn't be bothered is because he don't want to be a barman, all right? He don't want to be a barman. So therefore he's not giving it any effort whatsoever. He's not putting any soap in the water. But he didn't know that I wasn't about to open a chain of restaurant bars and I wasn't looking for a super duper bar manager to oversee the operation. That is the way you've got to approach life. You never know who's watching or who's listening or who's telling who about you. So every day get up and give it everything you've got, yeah? And I promise you, you'll be happier because of it. And I promise you, you'll improve your chances of getting to where you want to get to. We will catch up tomorrow. Thank you for listening.